What is going on, gamers? In this video, what we have done is probably the craziest thing ever before attempted in Age of Civ 2. We have released every single American city as an independent custom civ named province. This is to test what city in America is the greatest city, and overall, like, where do they stack up? Can they win? You know, with all these different civs independent, like what will occur if every American city is an independent country? And this is what happened. Alright, so we are jumping into it. Every single place is custom named. You can see down here on the bottom, Asheville, the city is called Asheville. Chattanooga, the city is called Chattanooga. Every single one of these are independently named countries. We have Pittsburgh, we have Philadelphia, we have New York City, Atlantic City, Trenton. I named this Brooklyn. A couple of them I have different names for just because the city is kind of random that they chose. I got Buffalo, New York, I got lots of different cities. Syracuse, we got Ithaca, whatever you say that. I don't even know about that city. Oswego, Kingston, Concord, Woodstock, Montpelier, etc. You guys get the point. We have Boston, Province, Hartford, all the different cities as independent countries. No one else is doing this to the extent we're doing it, but this is a crazy scenario, and I'm very hyped to see over what city will win. I think when we start out, currently, again, they all have the same amount of provinces, but I think population-wise, Atlantic City, San Francisco, Richmond, LA, Washington, D.C., Trenton, New York, and some other ones. So obviously, Age of Civ 2 logic is very incorrect, but in terms of this, I mean, it's semi-close enough to where we can simulate it. In terms of the economy, Atlantic City and San Francisco. So San Francisco and Atlantic City are kind of the main two places we have to look out for. They're probably going to be very, very powerful compared to a lot of these smaller cities. So we're going to have to kind of watch and see how it all plays out. It'll be really interesting. We will kind of just watch as the turns progress and just kind of overall see what occurs. I think a lot of these places are going to have struggling economies from the looks of things, and they probably won't expand very quickly, but we are starting to see the beginning of small expansions. I saw some small expansion in North Carolina, or not North Carolina, Virginia, my mistake. I think Alexandria took over Richmond, so a lot of these small cities, they can actually do things. Granted, it probably won't be very quickly, but this is a large conflict already. We have Atlantic City going after Washington, D.C. That will be very, very big if they take Washington that quickly. Province went out and they took over Cape Girardeau, and Albany took over Kingston, and New York appears to be slacking, but they are going after Washington and Boston at the same time, which is fairly interesting. Hartford went over here and they took Brooklyn, so they are probably doing pretty good. Atlantic City is already being kicked out of their top spot, with a lot of these other small countries expanding. So Grand Rapids, currently the largest city. Where is Grand Rapids at? I think it's in somewhere over here. Is it? Yeah, it's in Michigan. Michigan, damn, what the fuck, Great Rapids. Great Rapids out here taking over everybody. Damn, that's kind of impressive, especially for this quick in the game, but we're going to kind of watch and just see what really goes on. Guys, we're going to miss a lot, so I do apologize, but, you know, sometimes you gotta miss some stuff to, you know, do these type of scenarios. There's a lot of different cities, and I'm gonna miss a lot, so I do apologize. What the fuck is going on over here? Is this just all separate cities that are white? Kind of different, but it looks like a large country, technically. Okay, so the countries are expanding very, very rapidly now. I want to kind of pause it and make sure we're not skipping too much, because I do want to kind of gloss over a lot of the things. Great Rapids still doing, or Grand Rapids, my mistake, still doing very good. Mason City in Iowa, somehow, you know, taking out Milwaukee and doing fairly well. Marquette in northern Michigan doing really good. And we have St. Cloud dominating in Minnesota. Glasgow, Montana somehow getting really close to unifying the state. Helena still kicking. Great Falls still doing semi-okay. Ellensburg, very powerful in Washington. Portland doing okay so far in Oregon. And Idaho Falls is going into Wyoming. Cheney, Wyoming, also doing very good, taking out Denver and kind of moving into this region. So we are seeing a lot of interesting things going on. Austin, Texas, looking very good in Texas. Nobody really coming out quite yet on top in Florida. But we do have a very powerful Mississippi Gulfport and a lot of other small things like that. We have Columbus, New Mexico looking really strong. Wickenburg, Arizona, probably going to get killed at some point. Las Vegas still alive, and technically Richmond also still alive. A lot of these big cities aren't making it very far, so a lot of the small cities are probably going to be our winners, to be honest. But we might see one or two large cities survive. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Atlantic still one province for some reason. A lot of these big cities are kind of sticking to their provinces, not the smartest choice. Maybe it has something to do with the AI, I couldn't tell you, but Dover looking good, and Province also looking very, very good. And the Cleveland curse continues as Cleveland is not expanding. Come on, Cleveland. I'm rooting for Cleveland for the memes. We'll have Cleveland win, because why not? For the memes. I think Orlando is probably going to be our winner in Florida. They're looking pretty good. Some other small changes are probably going on without me really paying attention, but Kansas very, very divided currently between Missouri and I think it's Pueblo. Or no, actually I think it's Lubbock, Texas up here. It's kind of crazy. It's just kind of fun to kind of sit back and just watch the chaos and ensue throughout the map, because I can't really tell exactly what all is going on at the same time, but it's just kind of fun to watch it all kind of play out. I'm going to pause it. We've gone about 150 turns roughly, and I think in California there's a very powerful Sacramento as well as a very powerful Los Angeles, so some of these big cities are still surviving, and we could always see them return in like the form of a civil war. Ellensburg looking good. A lot of these cities are starting to get pretty powerful, so we're kind of seeing the beginning of kind of unification for the most part. San Diego, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You're not even in your right spot anymore. San Diego, technically these cities can migrate. I haven't really thought of it like that, but if they lose some of their main territory, they will possibly migrate across the country, which is kind of interesting to think about. Alright, I've seen the unification of, I think it's South Dakota, under Jefferson City. Damn, Jefferson City looking very, very good. They might win the whole thing. They're looking really good. Who's number one at the moment? Los Angeles for the economy. What about population? Jefferson City, Province. We got Sacramento, LA, and Jonesboro. And then for the economy, it's LA, Grand Rapids, Province, Greenville, and Washington. Province probably our winner at the moment. Province definitely looking good though, so Providence, Rhode Island. I mean, this might be the official time for Rhode Islanders to rise up. I've been saying it for years, Rhode Island. It's about time. Oh, Washington is also unified under under Seattle. Ellensburg got kicked out. That is kind of funny. Okay, Seattle kicking ass then, damn. Alright, that's kind of cursed though. Seattle controlling all of New York. But I like it. I do like it. I'm not gonna lie, gamers. I do like that. And Washington, D.C. on a conquest to reform America, apparently. Could Washington, D.C. win the whole thing? That'd be kind of funny. Oh, Washington, D.C. has been sieged out, though, by Chattanooga, of all places. That's crazy. How is Chattanooga doing so good? I guess anybody can win, but damn, I did not expect that. Houston, Texas, not looking too bad, controlling a large portion of Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma, and Louisiana, as well as Texas. So they're probably a pretty strong player. Texas has a very good amount of province development in this game. But LA, damn, LA has unified the fuck out of this region. LA might win the whole thing at the moment. LA is looking very, very good. Sacramento, not technically out of it, but they're not they're not doing very good, and they're starting to get trapped in between LA, so they're probably not going to survive much longer. Washington and LA, who would have guessed it? The two, well, I guess New York is technically larger, but two of the largest cities in America on the opposite coasts are the rivals in this game. And then you got randomly Jefferson City in Wichita, Kansas. But it is interesting. St. Cloud also looking very good. They could possibly pull out something. Lubbock, Texas, also looking pretty good. And La Cruces, which I don't even think starts here. Or maybe they do. Maybe they do. Okay. Just lots of different small cities rising up. It's kind of interesting to see what happens. And Orlando, Florida has unified Florida under their control. I think it's definitely Disney influenced. Mickey Mouse, secretly the dictator of communist Orlando, but we really can't tell at the moment. And Providence, Rhode Island, still doing good, but definitely getting outshadowed right now by Washington. So we're going to kind of watch and see how this plays out. Did Sacramento win? Oh, damn, they pieced out. I think Sacramento won that conflict, but LA is definitely still fighting other countries, and they're going to be very powerful. LA and Sacramento and Washington, D.C. has returned in very, very powerful form. Who's going to win this? This is crazy to watch. And then you even got St. Cloud in, Minnesota doing really good. And just a lot of crazy stuff. Houston still kicking somehow. I don't know how. When Washington, D.C. is taking over your capital, but damn, this is crazy. And LA, what the fuck, LA? You got yeeted out by some small country, like, damn, okay. So some of these big countries can fall very quickly, as we're kind of watching. But then they kind of recover from the looks of things. Sacramento, though, going into LA, and I think it's going to be Sacramento and Washington fighting each other. I don't know which one will come on top. I think Sacramento has the edge, and they have taken LA, which is pretty big in terms of expanding. So LA has, for the most part, fallen at this point. Sacramento versus Washington, D.C. Who will come out on top? Unless, I guess, technically LA and I think it's St. Cloud could technically still win, but they'd have to do a lot to catch up at this point. America, Washington, D.C. is expanding into Missouri as well as parts of Ohio. Okay, St. Cloud has just been utterly killed by Sacramento. I really want to know who will win, Sacramento or Washington, D.C. It's still anybody's game, but I'm leaning Washington. I think Washington has the edge a little bit here. Maybe they don't. Sacramento has a lot of land, and they could probably pull something together, but they don't own a lot of stuff in Texas, and I think that could play a small factor in this, because America has a lot of land in Texas, as well as a lot of these really, really rich eastern coast tiles, so I don't really know who has the upper hand at the moment. And Sacramento and Washington have officially started the war. Currently, Washington is pushing out Sacramento, and damn. But Washington is currently also in a war against LA, so that could hurt them. And then Sacramento still in their conflict with St. Cloud, and St. Cloud has recovered. So a lot of crazy stuff is currently going on. Lake Charles gains independence. Some small revolutions are occurring as Las Cruces returns, as well as some other places. So yeah, a lot of stuff is going on. America appears to be winning though, so I'd assume Washington, D.C. will win this game and reform the states. I just realized that out of the entire region St. Cloud owns, they don't have a single coastal tile. That is pretty pathetic. And I think America's coastal advantage is probably going to be I can't fucking speak today. Okay, the war has broke out between St. Cloud and the USA. This is pretty epic, and I think, oh damn, St. Cloud not doing terrible, but they have lost their capital and a lot of their major regions. I think it's safe to say St. Cloud is going to collapse pretty soon, as America kind of finishes them off right here. And once we see the peace treaty, I think it's safe to say America has won the game. So we're going to kind of watch and see what peace treaty really breaks out. And damn, did America fully annex that shit? They're going to have a lot of revolutions, but I think they can hold on to most of it. Okay, so that decides it. If you let every single city independent, Washington, D.C., the United States finds a way. This is a great metaphor. I don't know why or how this all happened, but damn, crazy. Overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys for the next one. If you want, I know a lot of you guys are Polish and British who watch this channel. Should we do Polish cities independent and British at the same time? Tell me in the comments below, and peace.